What's going on? Sean Donnelly here with my buddy, Cullen Aubin.
Hey guys.
For those of you who don't know who Cullen is, he is a fellow YouTuber, thrower, and all-around good guy. So yeah, make sure you go check out his channel, Cullen Aubin on YouTube. Check his channel out. He's helping me produce this video right now. He's going to be selecting all the questions that I answer. So hopefully he does a good job. Yeah.
I'm not going to do any of the bad ones. Okay, I'll probably do a lot of the bad ones.
So we're going to do this Q&A now.
Alright, so I'm going to ask the first question. Sean, if you could take your full year of poops, your 365 days worth of poops, in one 24-hour poop period, would you choose to do it that way? 24 hours straight, one shot, don't worry about pooping ever again. No accidents, no missed calls, one day.
Wow. Okay. Now that I think about it, like if I poop now for one day, I don't have to poop for the rest of the year. How much time would I save? Productivity, boys. That's what we need. I think I would take all my poops in one day, actually.
Poop day 2017, coming at you.
He called the shit poop!
Alright, first real question. At Udes07, Sam, what are Cullen's and yours end of season goals, distance and accolades? I really want to place like top 4 at my conference meet, as far as like accolades go. As far as distance, I don't really have a concrete number in my head. I guess I have like a soft number, but I don't know. I just want to feel good about how my season went, like overall. I definitely want a PR. Minimum I want to throw is like 53. If I had to give it like a soft number.
So for my season, Sam, keep it short and sweet. If I throw the world standard this year and I make the world championships, I'll be a very happy man. Outside of that, I'll keep those rest of the goals to myself.
86, 75. At Dempsey
McGuigan.
At Dempsey McGuigan, sausage, links or patties?
Dempsey McGoogs.
That's a great question.
Oh shit, man. Depends. If I'm eating a breakfast sandwich, obviously you need patties. But if I'm eating eggs and sausage, or I'm a links guy, sausage links, I guess. Thanks, Dempsey. You're amazing.
Tyler Lindow, 15, asks, how far did you throw the shot and disc in high school?
I only threw my senior year of high school, but I threw the discus 158.10 and the shot put 53.10.
At emath 22, do you wash your massive beard? It's not that massive.
The beard is no longer massive, but most recently it was. But yes, quite frequently. I would condition it probably 3 or 4 times a week. Wash it 1 or 2 times. Beard oil, beard wax, stuff like that. That's what you need. So Emma, if you want to grow your beard out nice and long, be sure to condition it.
At Nick Cordino asks, if you and Matthias Tayala played Yahtzee, who would get the first Yahtzee?
I wish I could lie. But I can't, and it would be Matthias because he's just like the luckiest bastard I've ever known.
At Brandon _Ovington, have you ever had a knee injury? If so, how did you train with it?
I have never had like a serious knee injury. I've dealt with patellar tendonitis for literally like the past 7 years, since about my junior year of high school. And for a while, I just kind of dealt with it. I would take ibuprofen, I would put on icy hot, use knee wraps, knee sleeves, stuff like that. But as of recently, I found that if your glutes work right, your knees don't hurt. So get your glutes working right. That's how you get rid of knee pain.
This next question, Sean, comes from myself. People call you Sean Don. I don't know if that's a nickname that was given to you or just kind of came to be, or you like Don, no pun intended, donned yourself. So people call you Sean Don. Do people call your mom Don? And if not, why not? Because that'd be really cool.
I can't say anybody calls my mom Don, but if you ever see Joyce Donnelly out there,
I'm gonna start calling her
at a meet, yeah, call her Mom Don. I'm sure she would think it's funny. You're more than welcome.
I'm starting the movement today.
If my mom is watching this, Joyce Donnelly, you're now going to be known as Mom Don to all the fans out there and friends in the Sean Don Nation.
Mom Don.
Mom Don.
Grant Cartwright asks, why do you think some throwers hit walls and are not able to push past them?
This comes, I think, from, once again, training and coaching. If you can't find your technical problem, if your coach doesn't quite know what's wrong with your technique, then obviously you're going to kind of stagnate and you'll be stuck doing the same thing wrong all the time. Or it'll once again come back to your training, whether it's your throwing or your lifting. Either you're doing too much, you're not doing enough, you're not changing it up enough. When it comes down to it, it's usually the training or the coaching, unfortunately. So all you coaches out there, sorry if I'm making you guys look bad, but It's usually what it is.
Kieran McCaig has another question. Why did you abandon Olympic lifts in your training? We're talking about this today, actually.
Yes, Olympic lifting. I do not do Olympic lifting. This is, I think, the first time I've actually announced it on any sort of video. And don't get me wrong, I love Olympic lifting, guys. Like, I love like a heavy snatch session. It's fun, but it just beats the shit out of me. Number one, makes my wrists hurt, my shoulders hurt, my knees hurt, my back hurt. It's not comfortable. I don't think it's the benefit is not worth the risk. And then also, but everyone says that Olympic lifting is good for training triple extension, and I agree. It does train triple extension. One of the few things in the weight room that does it, especially something using a barbell. But you know what I think trains triple extension better? Jumping and throwing. When you think about throwing, at least a sport, shot put, discus, hammer, it's a speed event. It's how fast you can move the ball, how fast you can move through the ring, stuff like that. Relatively, Olympic lifting is slow. It doesn't even if you're using 50% of your max, you're still going to be moving slow relative to a plyometric jump, a depth jump, med ball toss, anything like that. So that's why I would rather do jumping as opposed to Olympic lifting. Olympic lifting kind of sucks, but like I said, I love it, but it sucks for training for throwing, in my opinion. I just find that it's not as specific for throwing as people think. I think it's something that was done back in the 70s and 80s and just kind of stuck around, and people say that's how it's been done, so that's how I'm going to do it. You guys are wrong. Just because it works doesn't mean it's optimal. Boom.
Akron Vester asks, what is your main reason of your success in vlogging so far?
Success in vlogging. Okay. I wouldn't say I'm successful as a vlogger.
It's a compliment in there.
That is a compliment. Thank you. So Alex Russo, my boy. Yeah, my success in vlogging. I wouldn't say I'm successful. Just like throwing and just like with anything in life, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm always trying to get better. I'm always trying to find the next thing I can do to make my throw better. I'm trying to find the next thing to do to make my vlogs better. Whether it's reaching out to somebody like Cullen, who is the godfather of throwing and vlogging, or like Sean Francis, ex-pro pole vaulter and current YouTuber, so check him out too, Sean Francis. And yeah, so just reaching out and watching other videos and stuff like that and trying to learn things that I can do to help make my vlogs better, help make my content better. Yeah, never stopping. I've never made a vlog that I thought was perfect, and I don't think I ever will, but I'm gonna keep trying, so.
Charles Inferna asks, what people, if any, do you feel have most contributed to your post-collegiate throwing career, and why?
Man, that's a most straightforward answer I think any of these questions provide, and that would be my coach, Sean Denard, and my other coach, Cal Dietz, strength coach. Sean and Cal have been paramount in my success thus far as a post-collegiate athlete. If it wasn't for those two, I would probably be broken dead on the side of the street. Yeah, side of the road, whatever.
You said the exact same thing to me off camera, so like that's how real that statement could be.
Yeah.
This is my favorite question that I've seen so far. Charles Inferno, second question. How has throwing influenced other aspects of your life and vice versa?
That's a good question. That's a good question, Charles. Doc Inferno, thank you. You're the man. Throwing has changed my life incredibly. I would never have envisioned myself to be where I am today before I started throwing. I'm grateful that, Coach Luck back in high school forced me to go take some shot put throws, because I wouldn't change my life for anything right now. This is not what I expected, but I'm not complaining one bit.
At Sam Oods, coming over from Twitter to ask another question, or Instagram, I think. How has social media and the networking of throwers changed the event? Is it a positive or negative in your guys' eyes?
Colin, do you want to?
I want to start. I think it's freaking awesome that we're finally getting some traffic. Just people knowing who we are, I think is huge. The fact that I've influenced other people to start vlogging and doing this is huge, because now that there are bigger names not only doing it but just seeing what Sean and Luis do, that's awesome, and that's what's only going to make it continue to grow and convince other people to start vlogging and have people figure out what we actually do.
Yes, social media for the throwing world it's we're on the front end of a revolution. I don't know what to call it, but yes, social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube, vlogging, all that stuff is the future of track and field, I believe. In terms of, thinking about track and field as a sport, not just throwing, we don't get any publicity. And then in terms of the track and field world, the throwers get even less publicity. So if we don't take control and publicize ourselves, then nobody else will. So it is really up to us as athletes to make sure people know who we are and know what we do. It's about spreading the network and growing the sport, and that is why I do this stuff, guys. Like, I'm just trying to make track and field great again.
Grant Cartwright, I feel like this is like his 10th question, but they've all been pretty good so far. Would you partake in a civil union? I spoke too soon. Would you partake in a civil union with a fellow throwing friend, heterosexual, to gain citizenship to another country that will pay you to train? Pay you well to train. He's asking for Joe Ellis.
Joe, if you're asking for my hand in marriage,
It says heterosexual, so
You know,
I'm not going to assume Joe's gender, but
I was a fan of Jay and Silent Bob, and I believe the term that they use to describe each other, Jay and Silent Bob, is heterosexual life partners. Yeah, I would totally do it. If I could train for Hammer full time, be a true professional thrower, I would totally marry a dude heterosexually.
also
Life
that means you'd
partners.
have to go to another country, so you wouldn't be an American, so you're a communist.
You know, that's also a very fair point. For whatever reason, if I couldn't compete for America, I would totally do it. But if I were to compete for any country, I want it to be America.
Jordan Crayon asks, share with us what your biggest changes mentally and physically that helped you go from 66 to 74.
Is it wrong to say that I didn't make any changes? My mindset didn't really change much between 66 and 74 meters. I always just wanted to try to throw farther. I was always trying to work harder than everybody else. I'm definitely not the most gifted guy out there, but I was always just trying to work harder. Like I've said recently, the only thing you need to succeed are time and work. And I was always putting in the work. It was just a matter of time until I came up and threw 74 meters. I mean, yeah, my technique changed, my training changed a little bit, but I always had the same mindset, I felt like. So, sorry to burst your bubble, Jordan.
Matt Marcosia. Yeah, I don't speak Italian.
He's Canadian.
Oh, never mind. Has anyone ever asked if you're having a spasm or seizure during some of your lifts?
Very often. I know my lifting looks ridiculous, but I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't think it was the best thing for me right now. And I always say that I'm going to come up with some sort of post explaining all my training, and eventually I will. But in the meantime, you guys just have to deal with me looking like an idiot in the majority of my lifts. So.
That'd be a long post. You should write a book.
Yeah. Oh. Maybe I should write a book.
Mike Beach, shout out Hate Brand. What is the most important thing a Scottish hammer thrower could take away from the Olympic hammer?
I am definitely not qualified to answer the question because I know pretty much nothing about the Scottish hammer. But you could probably train the Scottish hammer like you do the track and field hammer. But I don't know. It'd be something to try. Eventually, I'm going to get into Highland Games, whether it's
for sure.
In the off seasons or after I'm done competing as a professional track athlete. I don't know, but I'm going to try it one day. So watch out, Mike Beach. I'm coming for you. You too, Matt Vincent.
Josh Freeman, what does 1738 mean to you?
What is 1738?
Jason York, how is it different competing / training in D3 compared to D1 and postcollegiate?
Honestly, once again, I felt like I always had that Division 1, that post-collegiate mindset in Division 3. I was always willing to do whatever it took to succeed. I was always willing to go out and practice, even if it was by myself, lift by myself, hop fences and go throw into places that I wasn't supposed to throw, whatever it was. I was always willing to do whatever it took. So I guess I had my mindset for Division 3 was a little different than most. In terms of competing, it was great because I felt like everybody I competed with, like we were friends, we were kind of brothers. By the time I went to the national meet a couple times, I knew all the people I was competing against and I loved it. Going to Division 1, it was different because it just felt a little bit more spread out. Not only just in terms of the school, but in terms of the team, I felt like I wasn't as close to my teammates. Maybe that's just my experience, I don't know. I'm sure it's different for everywhere you go. In terms of training, like I said, training got a little bit harder, but I felt like I had the mindset, I was ready for it. And then post-collegiate, it just gets even worse. Training more or less is going to be the same, but you are literally alone. You are a lone wolf, you're isolated. I train by myself, I lift by myself more often than not, and my only support system is Cal and Sean. So
Matt Marcosia asks again, am I saying that right this time?
Yeah.
How does it feel being someone many young throwers look up to now?
Yeah, it's weird to think about that. Like some throwers look up to me now, because I guess Cullen does. But no, I've always felt like I still look up to all the people I compete against, which is weird. I still feel like the Division III Sean Donnelly, like I'm a huge throwing nerd. I've always like looked up results of everybody. I always know how far everyone's PRs and stuff like that. So I was always one of those kids that looked up to other people. So to be a role model, more or less, for younger kids nowadays, it's a special feeling. Like I can influence somebody's life by something I say or something I do. So yeah, it's different. So hopefully I do a good job of it.
In a rip key, who would win in a fight, me or Hannah?
I'll have to go with Hannah.
Lucas McKay, what, in your opinion, is holding back American hammer throwing? What is the answer to international success?
I could honestly probably do an entire 8 to 12 minute video just on this question alone. But yeah, definitely youth development. Nobody throws hammer. Hardly anybody throws hammer at the high school level.
Yeah, high school.
And then going through college, I feel like most collegiate coaches don't have the time to focus on somebody developing long term. It's all right, I have 4 or 5 years to get this guy to score points at the conference level, to become an All-American or national champion. I need to get him good now. There's no long-term development. I think that hinders our development of hammer throwers throughout the collegiate system and after. But yeah, and then exposure for the sport. Like I said, this comes back to youth development. There aren't enough people that know about the hammer throw for it to become popular, for more people to throw it, for more talent to kind of develop. And then even outside of that stuff, it comes back to training. Most people, I think, don't know how to train for the hammer throw. I can't say I do. What I've done so far has worked for me. I haven't had any international success yet. I've only been doing this sport for going on 6 years. Hopefully, over the next couple of years, I will have international success, and then I can have some proof in the pudding, if you will, for my training. But yeah, training and coaching in America for the hammer throw specifically, I feel, is lacking very much so.
Jeff Moran asks, am I getting low T? I'm getting sick a lot more, and my CNS doesn't allow me to lift like I used to.
No, Jeff, that's just called being a bitch.
Hannah Gustafson asks, who would win in a fight, Anna or I?
Anna would win.
Brian Lee asks, what advice would you give to someone who wants to throw post-collegiately, especially if they aren't at an elite level?
Advice for anybody who wants to throw post-collegiately, don't. No, just kidding. Most of my fellow colleagues as post-collegiate throwers will say something along those lines and be semi-serious about it. For me, coming from Division III, I've known a lot of athletes who just keep competing just because they simply love the sport. And if that's what you want to do, go for it. If you want to make a living out of this, quote Judd Logan, if you're not planning on hitting the A standard, get a real job. And that's what you're going to have to do if you want to keep throwing post-collegiately, if you're not at that elite level. But if you have the love and the passion for the sport, and I think it's true more so with throwers than any other track and field event or sport in general, if you love to throw, then just keep doing it. I mean, there's always open meets and all-comer meets and stuff like that. So yeah, just buy yourself some implements and go out and throw a couple times a week, and that's all you really need to do if you want to keep up with it. So
Joshua wants to know, so I assume everyone has those practices where everything just feels like crap technically, nothing is flying right, things are just off. Do you believe in practicing through those days, or dropping the implement for the day because of possible bad habits?
No. Keep throwing in those days, during those days. So, and this is something my coach talks to me about passionately. Not every day is going to be a good day. And that is especially true the further you get into the sport, and I guess it's just about as true as when you first start out too. But yeah, so training through those bad days, I think, is the way to go. If you're feeling really crappy, yeah, maybe you can take it a little bit easier and make sure you're really hitting those positions and really feeling the ball. But taking those days off and just kind of like throwing the towel in during those days is no sort of winning attitude, that's for sure. More often than not, I have more average and bad practices than I do good practices, and that is what I think young throwers need to realize. Not every day you're going to be feeling the best or throwing your best. More often than not, you're not going to feel that way, and that's where you just kind of you punch in, you do your work, and then you punch out, and you go home for the day and go back tomorrow and do the same thing, and eventually you're going to have a good day, and then you appreciate that for what it is. I think this is another Judd Logan thing. He's a very wise man. He always says, be the man in the middle. So you're always going to have your good days and you're going to have your bad days, but you're always the man in the middle. You're never as bad as your best. You're never as bad as your worst throw. and you're never as good as your best throw. You're always the man in the middle, and that's what young throwers and even myself need to realize. Got to be level-headed. All right, guys. Thank you for all the questions. I appreciate it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Cullen once again. I'll link his YouTube channel down below, maybe in the end screen. I don't know how it works, but definitely down below. So yeah, thank you to Cullen for coming out to Minneapolis and making the trip out and doing YouTube things with me.
It was just for this video.
Yeah.
The whole Q&A. That's why I came. Just kidding. There's gonna be vlogs. They're coming, people.
Yeah, the vlogs, they're coming. Yeah, so yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoy this Q&A, make sure you like the video, give it a share. Let people know the A's to the Q's. Yeah, share, like it, subscribe if you haven't already. Hopefully, you know, you guys appreciated this video. And then if you guys have any more questions, I will literally answer anything. If we get enough questions, I'll do another Q&A video down the road. So yeah, go ahead and drop those questions down in the comments below. That's all I have for you guys, I think. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one more time. Yeah, that's all I got. Peace out.